Good evening. My name is Rabbi Ben-Zion Shem-Tov, on behalf of Chabad of Sierra Vista and Cochise County Superintendent Office. I would like to welcome everyone to tonight's evening. As we share the unique opportunity of hearing from a living witness, Holocaust survivor Saul Dreier. We are privileged to be hosting Saul tonight. By divine providence tonight's event takes place right before the 19th day of the Hebrew month of Kislev, a day that is monumental in my life and the work that I do. On the 19th of Kislev, in 1798, the first Chabad leader, Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, was liberated from prison in Russia. In Jewish history, the esoteric teachings of the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, were not easily accessible to all. Rabbi Shneur Zalman was a front runner in bringing these previously hidden teachings to the masses. Unfortunately, there were those who did not approve. They felt that it was necessary to keep these special teachings only for the well-learned leaders. So they spread lies about him and had him arrested to prevent Rabbi Shneur Zalman from teaching. Upon his release, Rabbi Shneur Zalman recommitted himself to do even more teaching and to bring a whole new dimension of the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, to the world. Now imagine a movie was made on the story of the Chabad organization, beginning in the year 1798, starting from this arrest. Our Chabad branch here in Sierra Vista, which serves Cochise County, is nearing the end of that movie, of that long story. What began with one leader introducing the concepts of all having the same right to the Torah's teaching resulted in a center in our community that welcomes everyone, regardless of their background, education, or affiliation. We now face a remarkable time in history where the rhetoric of anti-Semitism is springing forth from all parts of the world. With the world being so much closer with the advancements of technology, we need to make sure our positive voices do not go unnoticed. In just a few moments, we will hear from a legend, an eyewitness who lived during the Holocaust. Saul will uplift us through his remarkable talent and message. Before we hear from him, I would like to share with you a short story. Elie Wiesel, Holocaust survivor and author, once delivered a lecture, and after wrapping up his remarks, he was approached by an audience member. I know it's a long shot, but I was wondering if perhaps you might have known or met my father, who happened to have been in Buchenwald at the same time. When the woman mentioned her father's name, tears came to Wiesel's eyes, and he said to her these words, "Did I know your father? Do I remember your father? Not only were we in the same camp at the same time, but we were also in the same barracks. Now, let me tell you about your father. When I was at Buchenwald, I was at the end. I just wanted it over already. What could there possibly be left to live for? Like many, I contemplated suicide. I had managed to get hold of some poison and was determined to bring my suffering to an end. I still remember the day I came into the barracks, headed towards my bunk, with a plan to lie down and ingest a magic potion that would finally bring me peace. When I entered, your father was there. And do you know what he was doing? I'm sure you do. He was doing what he always did. He was singing. He had such a sweet voice. and he loved to sing. His voice was so piercing, so moving, so rich, so alive. I challenged him, "How can you sing in a miserable place like this?" Your father then turned to me and said, "Ali, all I have is my song, and this they cannot take away from me. These animals can take away our limbs and our bodies, but they cannot take away our song. Do you hear? They cannot take away our song unless we let them." We then resumed his singing in his beautiful voice. His song was resistant, his small act of defiance and strength, and so I made it my own. I am alive today because of your father's resistance. Friends, the song is an expression of our soul, a spirit that is inherently free. It is the spirit that imbues us with the strength to look towards the hope of an illuminated future, a time when the world will know of only peace and harmony, the time our prophets spoke of and yearned for, the time of redemption. May our world experience this very soon. I would like to take this opportunity to invite my father, that came from Tucson, to be here tonight with us to say a few words.
Welcome. I just want to say, I want to thank you all for participating over here. Chaya, Benzine, and the kids worked very hard to put this together, and you showing up over here is a beautiful testament to their hard work. Don't be concerned about the empty seats. Tell you a little anecdotal story. When I arrived to Tucson about 41 years ago, someone who wasn't excited with my arrival asked me, "What do we need you here for? We have this congregation, that congregation, that congregation." So I tell him, Mr. T, I asked him, I don't want to say his name, if all the Jews in Tucson, Arizona decide that they want to go to shul on Yom Kippur, is there enough room for them? So he said, no. So I said, I'm happy to see this auditorium because there is enough room in this auditorium for all the Jews of Sierra Vista. So we do have a place and we could welcome everyone. I just want to say, as much as we're going to remember and listen about the actual Holocaust, obviously I'm older than Benzine, I'm his father. I grew up in a neighborhood where when we used to go to synagogue and the people would put on their phylacteries, most of the people had their numbers over here. So this is in the 70s, think that they were, 35, 40 years old, 45 years old. So I remember that. And today, there are so few left. And it's your eyes looking at these people who were there are really going to be the witnesses and the testimonial of this great travesty that happened to the Jewish people for the next 100 years and so. So my dear friends, let's not just take this as a piece of history to learn what you are going to hear about what happened to this special individual, but take this as a message on how you can move forward and make the world a better world. Thank you very much, and sit back and enjoy.
In preparing this event, I sat down with the superintendent, Dr. Jackie Clay, to make a plan, and I would like to call Dr. Jackie Clay to come and share a few words.
Whoa, it's low, enough for me. This is great. Good evening, everyone. Of course, my name is Dr. Kline, and I'm the County Superintendent of Schools. Thank you so much for sharing this evening with us and Mr. Saul, the founder of the Holocaust Survivor Band. Thank you, my friend, very good friend, Rabbi Shemtov, and Chabad of Sierra Vista, and all of our sponsors for making this night possible. At the County Superintendent's Office, we cherish our partnership. For the past 7 years, Rabbi Shemtov has supported education in Cochise County, supplying calendars, leading the Character Education Art Program. I think it was 1,000 arts, Rabbi. We didn't pay 1 cent. That was his vision, and he made it possible for all of our children to receive knowledge. And now we're focusing on our second Holocaust observance. Our vision is to have this precious event annually, so mark your calendars for next year. Well, today we come to reflect on one of the most traumatic events in human history, the Holocaust. The state of Arizona recognizes the importance of Holocaust education, and it is mandated that we learn about this dark chapter, not just as a historical event, but as a critical lesson for humanity. By understanding the atrocities of the Holocaust, we become more vigilant against the forces of bigotry and prejudice. Learning about the Holocaust is crucial for several reasons. First, it honors the memory of those who suffered and perished. Their stories must be told, and the consequences should never be forgotten. When we study the Holocaust, we gain insight into the dangers of silence and complicity, and the necessity of speaking out against injustice. Moreover, Holocaust education fosters empathy and understanding. It teaches us the value of diversity and the importance of respecting others, regardless of their backgrounds or their beliefs. By remembering the Holocaust, we commit ourselves to building a more inclusive and compassionate society. How many students are in the audience right now? Would you raise your hand? Is that St. David? Yes. Woo! St. David. How long did it take you to get here?
45 minutes.
Around 45 minutes. They're one of our small rural schools who felt that it was important to be here. And thank you, our amazing, amazing teachers. We love you. As students, you have the power to shape the future. By learning about the Holocaust tonight, you will become the forebearers of its lessons, ensuring that the horrors of the past are never repeated. This knowledge will empower you to stand against any discrimination and violence and to advocate for a world where dignity and humanity prevail. That's on you, ladies and gentlemen. We study our past to ensure the tragedies of the Holocaust and so many other atrocities committed by our society will never happen again. Each chapter of history, no matter how painful, serves as a guidepost for our actions today. By confronting these dark moments head on, we gain the wisdom to make better choices and to stand firm in the defense of human rights and justice. So let's all take the responsibility to heart, this responsibility to heart, and pledge to remember the Holocaust, not just as a historical requirement that the Department of Education tells us we have to do, but as a profound call to action. Together, we can create a future where the lessons of the past will guide us towards a more just and peaceful world. Thank you again for being here. Now, I will introduce our interviewer, Matt Hickman. Give him a hand.
How is everybody doing tonight? All right, we're ready to hear the Holocaust Survivor Band, but we're going to bring out Saul here for a bit, and I'm going to ask him some questions because we think the best way for him to share his story, before we get into the music, it's very important everybody understands the story he has to share. So I'll ask him some questions in interview style, and if you guys have any questions you'd like to ask him, there'll be a Q&A session at the end, so feel free to write them down, and I'm sure the rabbi or somebody will come around to pick them up from you. But yeah, so I'm going to go sit down here, and Saul will join me in just a minute, and I'll start asking him some questions about his experiences. And thanks again for coming. This is a really important thing, and I think you guys should be very proud of yourselves.
Good evening, Toscan. Where's my girl?
Right here.
Okay. I'm good. Good evening, Toscan. Good evening, everybody.
Hello,
My name
good
is Saul
evening.
Dreier, and I'm a Holocaust survivor. In 4 months, I'm going to be 80 years old. Since 2014, I came with the idea to put together a Holocaust survivors then in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife told me I was crazy. My rabbi told me I was crazy, but I didn't ask no question. I bought a set of drums. I called several friends who are musicians. They're not here anymore. And I put together a survivor, Holocaust survivor band. I play all over the United States. I played in Poland. I played in Hungary. I played in Israel. Eventually, I'm playing by you people. Aren't you glad? I play for the president, for the one that's gonna give. I'm gonna play for the second president next year of his Hanukkah party. I'm playing all over, and I'm very glad I came to Arizona. You know why? Because I live in Florida, it's too wet. Here's too wet. I'm a father of 4 children. I got one son who retired from aviation. He was captain pilot for major airlines, lives in Israel, got a baby, he's 6 years old. My grandson, I got 2 girls living in Florida, and I got another son living also in Florida. I got 3 great children. I got wonderful son-in-laws, and I got a wonderful family, so I can be proud of it. That's why I'm gonna play until God tells me I don't care when it is. Now, I have a surprise for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I do it on every concert. I have a foundation under my name, South Generation Foundation, exists in 2 countries. One is in Poland, another one is in Israel. In the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna surprise you tonight. You see the 2 sticks that I play with? Yes. They're gonna be auctioned off. One of you, with my signature, gonna own it tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the show going. I see a gentleman sitting here. Are you gonna interview me? Yes. Right now? I'm coming.
Is this working? There we go. Yes, if you have some time, we'd love to get some questions. Get your hear a little bit more about your experiences from long ago.
Well, I tell you the truth. Through the last few years that I'm having the Holocaust survivor band, I was interviewed by NBC, Fox, CBS, and ABC. Who are you?
I am. Almost there.
Now I'm being interviewed by a local newspaper.
Hey.
I'm very happy I'm here.
Well, we're happy to have you here. So maybe we could just start from the beginning, all the way in the beginning. Where and when were you born?
I was born in Krakow, Poland. I was born 1925. When the war broke out, the Second World War, I was 14 years old.
Wow, so what were before the war broke out, we'll get to that in just a second, what were your happiest moments of childhood? What was it
Before
like?
the war broke out, next door where I was living was a little synagogue. In this synagogue, there were children teaching children, religion. because we used to go to public school like here. But afternoon, there was open post, we had a teacher, we had a principal, and many of us were going there, but I had to quit. I tell you why. A funny thing, my father was an officer in the Polish Army, and he reached to be major, and after this it stopped. And my father wanted to go higher, become a general, and he stopped.
Okay. Well, you talk, obviously there's a demarcation point where the war starts and that becomes a different thing. What do you remember about the starting of the war and the invasion of Poland?
Well, I tell you, it was a very interesting story. My father was running away from Germany, because the Polish army was, overwhelmed with tanks, with everything. The Polish army was on horses. So my father was in the last minute staying in Krakow, Poland, and near the Vista, and he was with several soldiers, maybe 50, 60 soldiers, and they're watching the petroleum there. But when the German came in, they ran away. From the one east. But my father stopped me the last day before he left. He said, "Listen, sweetheart, I'm leaving now. I may see you, I may not see you, but do two things. You have a factory, make sure you don't take whatever you can. There's a monopoly that has cigarettes. Grab everything you can and bring it to the grandma. And also, there's a bakery. You see the bakery here was right there. He said, go in, get as much bread as you can, because they're going to be problems." And he was right. My father was right.
So what was like in the ghetto?
Beg your pardon?
What was like in the ghettos?
And then, of course, I was living with my grandmother, with my mother, because the ship was from the regular apartment into the ghetto. And the ghetto was very bad. We had barbed wires were being killed. It happened that my grandma, the German came and took a lot of people to the concentration camp to be gassed, to be burned. My grandma couldn't go up on the truck, so they took her around the corner, and I was hiding in a drugstore, and I saw how they killed her. Since then, I told them to myself, God help me that I can survive and tell this story in the world, and God really helps me, I will.
Amen. And then you say, you had said that they made the ghetto smaller, you were homeless, and then who did you end up staying with? You said earlier you said that they made the ghetto smaller and that you were homeless, and who did you end up staying with?
When they made the ghetto smaller, my mother was taken away, the first one. My father was taken the next one with my sister, and I went in. I was taken to a concentration camp by name Plaszów. This was the worst concentration camp we ever had in Poland. Was in Krakow, was not far away where I was living. And over there, ladies and gentlemen, I don't wish my enemy. We had a commander by name Get. He was called after the war. We hung him in the plaza in our city because he was a terrible man. He was killing Jewish people that will be tomorrow. But I was helped somehow, and I was shipped to another concentration camp, to Schindler's Factory. You know,
Yes, I think we're all familiar.
Schindler's Factory. Whoever saw the picture, you can see where the Schindler's Factory was liquidated. They put us on the trains. It was bringing us out from Krakow. Schindler gave us, he was very friendly with the murderer, and he allowed him to spray the water and the cut place so we can breathe. It was so hot, it was in August. And mine, when we arrived to Mauthausen, wagon, and mine Kerka was 6 dead people. We would still have a train rolling away maybe 2,000-3,000 prisoners. I couldn't even count. And we arrived to Mauthausen. We got there. I carried stones from the quarry to the concentration camp, 183 steps up. And after 2 or 3 weeks, I don't remember, they took us and they put us in different concentration camps. Steiger, Rebensville, another one in Linz. And I in Linz, and I working as a welder in a factory. Over there, I was liberated by the American Army.
Wow. What was it like at Oscar Schindler's factory? What work were you doing?
I was in the factory. I was not in Schindler's. There were three places that where Jewish people were working. One was Schindler, that he saved many of them. One was NKR. We were repairing radiators for the Messerschmitt for the airplanes. The water coolers and the oil radiator. And I was a welder to repairing it.
Yeah, so I understand it was in Schindler's factory that you first started playing an instrument. Can you tell us the story about how you started playing an instrument in Schindler's factory?
In Schindler's factory, every night we didn't have too much to eat, but we had a man by the name David Verdiger was his name. He was a singer in a synagogue. Like, for example, the rabbi, he has got a synagogue. When they pray the services, they have a chorus, and he was one of the chorus singers. And every night we came from the concentration camp, from the factories, when he started to sing, and many people joined him. And I hear them singing, and I figured out, well, I had to do something. So I had one wooden spoon, and the spoon broke. In this factory, Polish people used to come to work with mixed with us. And I have a friend who was next door. My best friend was playing soccer together. We went to school together, to public school. And I said to him, Stanislav, I have got nothing to eat with the water that gives the soup. Could you bring me a spoon? He says, Saul, next Friday, the German left for the weekend. They mingled around, and I went to his market, and instead to take one, he left me 2 spoons. I had 2 spoons, and I was thinking, did you ever see the concentration camp? Here they are. He brought me 2 spoons. And every night, I was laying on the top, and the voice was singing at the bottom. And the singing, I had 2 spoons, so I took it around and did like that. And the man who was leading the whole chorus heard me do that. So he says, Saul, a friend of mine, he says, Saul, come on down, you're doing something. I said, yes, I got 2 spoons, and I'm clapping. He said, but now clap with us. And we put together a song, and the song goes like this. La 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 la. That's how I learned to play music in my life.
That's a fantastic story. Give him a round of applause now. So back to your journey. Did you ever meet Oscar Schindler? Did you ever meet Oscar Schindler?
Yes. Oscar Schindler, it was his concentration camp. There were barracks on one side for the women and this side for the men. We couldn't mingle. He had policemen there, didn't want to mingle the men. Well, we used to sneak at night and all that. I was ready for that. But every Sunday, we had certain people that play soccer. And in the camp, we had 2 players. They were first-class players in Poland. And they were also prisoners like me. So we put together a club, and Schindler found about it. So he delivered us shoes, and he brought the ball, and we, every Sunday he sit down and watch how we play soccer.
So then Schindler moved people to Czechoslovakia. You weren't on the list. You were put in a boxcar with how many other people?
Say that without the microphone.
How many other people were in the boxcar?
Oh yeah, we were shipped from Krakow to Mauthausen. They loaded us up, and Schindler was the one that was directing everything, except the commander was a German, the biggest murderer that I ever met in my life. And we, on Buena Vista, probably between 90 and 100 people without toilet facility, without food, riding 24, maybe 27 hours in the train to Mauthausen. When we arrived at Mauthausen, in every boxcar there were dead people. Mine was 6. We were 900 or 90 or 95 people in our boxcar.
And where did they take you?
To Mauthausen. You know, took us to Auschwitz. Sorry. Schindler went and discoupled his people. And the train that they headed 1,400 people. They were there, and Schindler took him, that's how he saved them. And we went to Mauthausen, the balance of the train.
So what happened that you never left the train at Auschwitz? Where did they take you next?
We stayed, and we took us to Mauthausen. And the people, Schindler's people were left over in Auschwitz, somehow he took him to his time. I don't know what happened.
So tell us what happened. What happened after that?
After that, when we came to Mauthausen, the undress was completely. They took our possession. I was left over the way I was born. They gave us pajamas, and some people walking without anything nude. And in the concentration camp, Mauthausen, they had the diplomats, Polish people, Czechoslovak people that the German caught, you know, being in the government. And they were separate, they were dressed and everything. And the people that got pajamas, they put to work. So they put to work, they brought us downstairs to a quarry, and every one of us had to carry a stone. From the quarry up to 183 steps. The young people somehow survived, but the older people were falling down, being killed by the stone, being killed by the German, was unbelievable. But somehow, after 2 days, I saw what's going on. I was with a friend, and I said, look, I don't believe I'm going to make it one more day. 12 o'clock, we didn't have no attitude, we were completely new to on in pajamas. He said, Saul, I came with an idea. He was already a university student. He says, you know, I look on the moon. When the moon going to be right here, going to be approximately 1 o'clock at night. He says, me and you, we're going to take the pajamas and throw it to the sewer. We had a sewer, it was our toilets, you know, a manhole as well, and we throw it out as new. When I was young, they took me to work no more. And they shipped us to different concentration camps. Steiger, I went one more in Linz. I was selected to be in Linz, in a concentration camp.
And what happened there?
I was working in a factory with Polish people, with German people, but the majority of the prisoners were Jewish, Polish, and Russian, women and men. We were separated, but we the same concentration camp. We were working. I was working as a welder, and I was getting paid with cigarettes.
Right, and for your good work, you were rewarded. That was called a precious commodity, I understand.
Yes.
Cigarettes.
Yes.
And when the capo found out that you had these and were bartering them in camp, what did he do?
When the capo found out that I carry cigarettes, I used to trade for a piece of bread, for a pair of shoes. He said, call me to. I could never of us, of Jewish people, could walk into the capo's apart, lyric quarters. Because we are Christians, I know that you getting paid with cigarettes. I want to be your partner. So I says, what am I going to get for it? You won't have to carry the big, with the soup. You're going to get the soup from the garden, the potato shell, and you're going to have to bring me cigarettes. Every 2 weeks, except on the one condition, you're never going to come onto my quarters because you people are dirty, you got lice, you got that and that. Only you're going to deliver to me so I said, look, I have got no pockets. I'm going to carry the cigarette with my, what's going to be packed, I don't worry about it. But don't you ever come to my quarters. Ladies and gentlemen, I was doing this for several times. I don't remember how many, every 2 weeks. Eventually, one morning, we go to work. It was a beautiful day. On the way back, was raining. It's unbelievable. You could get wet in 2-3 minutes. That's how bad it was. And the German was marching us from the camp, from the factory to the camp. And I had the cigarettes for the day they were paid. And I put the sack between my crotch and was cutting like this. And the cop told me, if you know I bring cigarettes, he called me inside to his quarters. So I had to lay down the pants, take the cigarettes on paper and different things, warm wet, and I handed to him. As I handed to him, I'm looking on the wall, I see a shofar. The shofar is the most holy thing in the Jewish religion that we blow. It looks like a trumpet that we blow twice a year. We blow it at the New Year's. We blow for the Day of Atonement. And I saw this. So he says, what are you looking at? I says, I'm looking at the trumpet in German. He says, you see this? This is going to save a lot of people. He didn't tell me if Jewish, non-Jewish. I didn't even know till today if he was Jewish or not. And I hear to him, I says, we're going this year and come on that day. And it was true. I blow the horn when we were marching through a cave where the commander of the concentration camp got very worried that Hitler was going to kill him because 3 prisoners escaped. And we started a revolution like by the cave. And my capo knew what's going on because the prisoners quit, I don't know. He said, Saul, blow the horn. I started to blow the horn. A lot of people went in, a lot of people come out, but there were 3 prisoners who escaped, who came with guns. The SS men were older people because they were not from. We started a commotion and people went in and out, and I started to blow the horn. I blow the key like that, and another came up. And how many people got saved, I don't know. But I saved a lot of people. He ran away, he grabbed it for me, the couple ran away. Till today, I don't know if he was Jewish or not.
It sounds like he was very important in how you were able to survive.
Well, that's how I survived. And I was walking back to the camp. But before I forget, I was in a second camp because I was on a detail that we were fixing the railroad from bombing of the Americans to Russia, and we got bombed. And we were 100 people, 30 got killed on the spot, rest of us got wounded and were marching back to the camp. So in the camp was another camp as a hospital, and they put me there because I was bleeding on both hands, and I was bleeding here, and still today I have a shrapnel in my head. And I was there, I said, this is it. But one morning, my hand was already very bad shape. I see one morning the couple goes by, the guy tries to give cigarettes. He said, what are you doing here? I said, I don't know. Took me out. He saved my life.
That is amazing. So, was there ever a moment where you felt like you were going to survive?
No. Just when I was in this hospital where they were bringing, I said, this is it. I thought to my friends, this is it. If not the couple, I wouldn't be here today.
Right, and then as the war was coming to an end, and I understand 3 days before liberation, things were getting tense, and the prisoners escaped. That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Did you know that the war was coming to an end and that liberation
No.
could be near?
No, we didn't know. We knew all we'd been taken to a cave. We knew all, but when I started to blow the horn, the people started to came. The captain came to me and said, look, the tanks are on the way. He had connections, you understand? He knew everything. He said, the tanks are coming. Save us, they're coming. And right away, as I finished, people ran. There was a big commotion. They were shooting the German. The first tank came in, the second with jeeps, and I'm wounded, and they stopped. They stopped. I saw a soldier with a red cross, and I went to him, and I asked him if he speaks also German. He was from New York. He saw me bleeding and everything. Went to his superiors, and he took the jeep and took me to the hospital. I got a picture when I was wounded. I had surgery. I was under anesthesia, and I came back. He took pictures of me, and he left with the army, they were going.
So at that point, you knew that liberation was coming, and you.
And I know what I did. They took me right away to the Jewish brigade came that fight together with the English against the German, and they saw the Holocaust survivors. They were looking for us, and they loaded us on a truck, 3-4 trucks. They brought us to Italy.
Did you ever see that soldier again?
Beg your pardon?
Did you ever see that soldier again?
No, I tell you what happened. Good you remind me. When I was single when I came to America, so every Saturday I was going to Roseland to dance on 72nd Street, Manhattan. One day I come there and I saw a guy, the ladies' men we were there. He says, I know you for something. The guy to me. I says, yes, started to speak out to English, me. He says, are you Saul that I saved the life? I said, oh my God. I almost got a heart attack. I said, yes. And we became friendly. We exchanged the telephones. I'm calling him next week. I was working, I was a welder, and I had to pay $10 to my end for my living. I had to pay off my car for $10, and $10 I had to take to my pocket. I had to eat. And since then, we exchanged telephones. I didn't see him till today. I don't know what happened.
So explain a little bit, how did you come to be in New York? How did you come to the United States?
The United States, President Truman had a quota. I had papers anyway from my uncle, but they told me that it's going to be much easier for me not to go to the whole mishmash if I gonna go with Truman's quota. So I applied, and they shipped me with the Truman people to Napoli, to Naples, and to Naples. They took us with the ships to the United States.
What was the transition like coming from the camps to living a free life, a comfortable life, I guess you could say?
I have German words. Even people ask me so much about it. I said, I don't know. And I tell you something. Nobody gonna believe me. We arrived on the highest holiday on Yom Kippur, the Ten Commandments, where we feast. We arrived the same day, and my uncle Saul himself, he was very, very, sent his daughter to pick me up. Because the death after was leaving. I remember the ship arrived with Marina Jonker. Was American, ship.
Okay. So I understand there's a story. How did you meet your wife?
My wife I met in city of Elizabeth, New Jersey. I have a friend who took me from Brooklyn to New Jersey, who owned business, and somebody introduced my wife to me over there in Chabad. We got together, and she had a boyfriend. But she invited me one morning to have breakfast with her. So I came to her house, and I'm waiting. She took the car, then to a delicatessen with bagels and nuts. And a guy walks in, knocks on the door. I said, may I help you? He said, yes, where's Clara? I said, she went shopping. I said, who are you? I'm her boyfriend. I said, Mr. He is talking to you about her boyfriend. And she came in and he ran away, and we got together and I got married. Simple.
And you had children too. What do you tell your children about the Holocaust?
My children didn't know nothing about the Holocaust until they were teenagers. Why? Because I was so scripted about myself, living in a free country, and proving to my children that I was a prisoner. You understand? I was ashamed to do it. But Spielberg came out with the idea, and they were interviewing a lot of Holocaust survivors. This was maybe about 20 years ago, I remember that. And they found out about me, and they sent people to my house, and the children were there, my 4 children, and they heard the whole situation. And since then, they know who the father and mother were. My father was my wife was a Holocaust survivor too.
Wow. I had one more question, then if anybody has, looks like we have a microphone up here, so I assume that's ready to go. If anybody has a question, come on up and line up and ask any question you'd like for Saul. I guess I'll leave with this. What's one message you want everyone here to remember forever and ever?
I'm gonna talk to everybody, but I can mention also my religion. I invite you, young people, married people, people who have children, people who have grandchildren, do me a favor. Educate your children. You will take nothing with you. Thank God. Thank God. This is the most important thing in life. I don't know who are you, if you're Catholic, you're Protestant, who are you, you're Jewish, but then whoever you are, educate your children. Especially in my religion, being Jewish, I pray the rabbis, I beg the Chabad, I beg everybody. Educate, educate, educate. I wish I would have the opportunity to be educated like the children in America. Hitler took away from me 5 years of education. You have to understand. And I learned here, when I'm talking to you, everything I learned in the golden America. When I arrived, I kissed a stone when I got off the ship before I went to my uncle's car to take me to his house. You don't know people where I'm living. This is paradise, United States. If somebody tells you that's not true, if somebody is not an American, he's no good. America is the best country in the world. I love it. I got children, they're educated. I got a son who graduated from Ohio State University. I got children who graduated college. They're married. I got grandchildren. I got great-grandchildren. I got a beautiful family. One man left alone from 25 people in the world. What would you put together an orchestra and travel all over the world and have a foundation, Sound Generation Foundation. As a matter of fact, right here, those things going to be auctioned off for my foundation. I don't need the money. My wife passed away, she didn't take nothing with her.
If anybody has any questions they'd like to ask, I believe that the microphone's right there. Step on up and ask Saul what your question is.
So if I understood what you said about your mom and dad being taken before you,
Yes.
Did they survive the Holocaust?
No. And all 3 of them. I had a sister who was younger than me, 4 years. My grandmother was killed in the ghetto. My father, my sister, my mother went alone via ship to Treblinka, and she went to the chimney. Then in October, my father went away with my sister, but not me, because I was working in a school segregating all the belongings that the Germans were taking from the Jewish people. So I wasn't there. They took him. My father and my sister went to Belzec, was the name of the concentration camp, all eastern Poland, and they were also went to the chimney, and they said, you know what means went to the chimney. And I survived. Somehow I survived, and I was liberated. I went to Italy. I met my wife. Went to America. When I came to the United States, the whole world opened to me. Ladies and gentlemen, whoever doesn't know, you don't know where we're living. We're living in the best country in the world. If somebody can compare with the United States, it's unbelievable. Nobody. The best country in the world. I want you to be aware. Don't think that I'm being a propaganda man. I'm not.
Well, I'm really sorry for your loss for your mom and dad and your family.
He just said sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, nice to meet you. Can you hear? I just said nice to meet you, Mr. Dreier.
I don't hear what she said.
Oh, she's just saying nice to meet you.
Am I close enough to my...
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
I saw the movie Schindler's List, and it's so neat to meet someone who actually met Oskar Schindler and worked in his factory. It's my hope to also be a righteous Gentile someday. Can you tell him about a righteous
It's her hope to be a righteous Gentile.
Like
Mr.
Schindler,
Schindler.
yes.
She wants to be a righteous Gentile, like Mr. Schindler.
You can be a righteous Gentile, you can be a righteous, so long you believe in a religion, you are who you are.
Okay.
Okay? Do whatever you have to do. Belong to a religion. If you're going to change the religion, come to mine.
Thank you. And I just wanted to ask what it meant to you after surviving the Holocaust and moving to America to see your countrymen get their own state in the creation of Israel in 48. And what was your reaction?
Darling, I'll tell you something. It was a joy for me. Because, you know, my second country, of course, is Israel. My third country is Poland. So you have to understand, America's number one, Israel number two. I have a son living in Israel. He's got the baby. I went to the circumcision of my son's baby. The boy is 6 years old, and I'm proud of it that I can have a child that will be brought up. It's going to be something in the country of Israel. I got news for you. If not America, we wouldn't have Israel.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Hi, so I have a couple of questions on behalf of our high schoolers.
Go ahead.
The first one, how did the Holocaust affect your life after the fact?
Well, I couldn't forget, of course, you know that. But if people ask me how it will affect me, I got one answer. And I tell them, everybody said, I don't know.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, that's the answer. That's our true answer.
Who are the people who are the other people in your band? These are not the original members? Who were the original members and who are these?
My original band was a man by the name of Ruby Sostovich, who I discovered in Florida. There was another few people, but I got now I'm only one Holocaust survivor member. The rest of the people are as Holocaust survivor killed. I got two. I got one that his father was liberated in Dachau. I got one that came from Russia, from Odessa, plays with me. It's three. I got Mel, who whose grandfather was a Holocaust survivor from New York, pressed with me, and I got here one from Argentina, who was also the family was survivors.
Thank you very much.
Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. Hello.
Hi.
I just wanted to share that I brought the sixth graders from St. David. There are 11 of us here.
From a nearby school, she brought 11 sixth graders. 11 sixth graders.
Oh, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to thank you for your time this evening. You answered most of the questions I had, but some of my students would like for you to talk about what you did from day to day while you were encamped and the age range that he was while he was encamped.
What was day to day like in the concentration camp? What was day to day like, and what was your age range? How old were you when you were in camp?
Darling, did you ever see? Did you ever see on the film how men being tortured? Did you ever see it?
I have seen Schindler's List and The Boy in the Striped
That's
Pajamas.
whenever it's on television, a man being tortured. You know what is tortured? We were tortured every day. Some of us survived, some of us died on the spot. I mean, there was no 6 million people don't die from bullets alone. 6 million people die from many things that the Germans did to us.
And my final question.
When a man like Hitler could not realize to take 6 million Jewish people, 12 million people to kill in the world, all different religions, and liquidate half of the Europe. Where did you have it? Thank God for America was what is left over, the United States says. If not, we would be there. Europe would be completely wiped out. You know that. I mean, it's a fact. If not Eisenhower, there would be a war. He was the best president I ever have proud of, was President Eisenhower. If not him, I would be in America. Who knows what would happen? He saved the United States.
How did you keep your positive mental health, or keep your faith from day to day?
How did you keep your mental health?
Well, I tell you the truth. Now we can start to go deep. When I was 65, I was married, I had children, and I developed cancer in my stomach. I was 65 and a half, or maybe 66, and I had surgery. They cut my stomach out. They left a little stomach, maybe 20–25%. And somehow, my wife, me, and what I did after my surgery, when I came home, I did 3 things that I took and buried. And maybe the doctor's going to be very mad, whoever's a doctor. I didn't want to take no more prescription, a doctor prescription. I throw out 3 packs cigarettes a day smoking, and I stopped drinking. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be 40, I'm going to be 100 years in 3 months. With a cancer disorder. I am in remission already over 35 years.
Thank you again for coming this evening.
Thank you. I tell you the truth, I'm reluctant to share this with you, but you brought it up as well. You know, it's an open record anyway, so I must well say it. Yeah, go ahead.
When you got free, what did you do after
Well,
that?
you I have to see, you're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
When you got free, what did you do?
When you got free, liberated, what did you do? Like the day of, or like in the moment, that day of liberation, what did you do?
Oh, The moment of liberation I was very bad because I was wounded. I had gangrene in this finger. I was wounded in my hand. So after the liberation, I met a soldier. I showed him who I am. I told him who I am, not in English, because I speak English, in Jewish, and a little German. He took me to his superior, and his superior recognized me. He took me upstairs to a house. Feeding Holocaust survivor. He fed me. I had bread, salami, soup, and everything, and loaded me up on the jeep, took me to a hospital. I was under anesthesia. They cut my finger, they fixed my head, and they let me back home. I got a picture with bandage after the concentration. After 3 years, I was liberated. I have a picture, but I can't have that picture, so it's my house. And I was working, people had to arrest me, people, all friends, all Holocaust survivors were with me, they helped me, and they saved my life. Simple.
One more Q&A, and then we'll get back to some music, huh? Then we'll get back to the music. Get you back on the drums here.
Yeah, I don't know you are ready.
Yeah, well, we got one more question, and then we'll get back to the music.
I want to, how you call it, sell.
Oh yeah, let's take this question, and then we can get to the sticks.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
How old were you when you started the band?
How old were you when you started the band?
89 years old. Honest. The best question I ever heard. I love it.
Thank you.
And travel all over the world.
Looks like we have one more person coming up here.
Hello. My whole family was murdered in the camps. My father and my uncle were the only two survivors. They were in Auschwitz, Dachau, and Bergen-Belsen.
You must speak it.
Pardon?
Where are they now?
Yes. I'm sorry.
They passed away. You are king of a Holocaust survivor. I'm very proud of you. God bless you. I'm very proud. If a child of a Holocaust survivor can remember the parents, the grandparents, I'm all proud of you. God help me to hear this. It's to me the most thing ever happened in my life. Honest to God. I didn't believe it. I'm going to come to Toscana. Toscana, Arizona. I'm going to hear something like this. This to me gives me my more willing to live and talk to people, deploy my needs.
My father lived to be 89. He lived here in Sierra Vista.
Her father lived to be 89 here in this
States. God bless you, and I hope that you're going to have good memories of your father. Believe me, because our memories are different than everybody else. You understand? I was living in a different world. I lost 5 years of my beautiful Jewish and Polish and total and American education.
My uncle also survived, but the rest were murdered in the camps. I come from a very large family.
Thank you.
And they were all murdered in the camps.
It gives me so much pleasure to hear that I can't tell you how I feel about it.
I want to thank you so much for what you do.
I want to don't walk away, I want to take a picture with you.
I would really like that.
Thank you.
My father received a letter from Schindler when we were living. He got a letter from Schindler when he was making the movie.
Yes.
We were living in Buffalo, New York at the time. And I read the letter to my father, and I said, Dad, they want to interview you. And he looked at me and he said, throw it out. He couldn't speak about anything. He
I
took
do.
it to his grave, but he screamed like you wouldn't believe. Every single night in his sleep, he screamed bloody murder until the day he
I
died.
have to interrupt you. You know what I do? I do the same thing, except I do different. You want to hear, you're going to enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to follow me 3 times. Never again.
Never again.
Never again.
Never again.
Never again.
Never again.
Your father heard it. Now,
Thank you. Thank you.
That was very moving. Well, we're really glad to have you here, and we're getting the band ready to go again. But I know we want to talk about these sticks a little bit.
yeah, I tell you because I open a foundation under the name South Generation Foundation. And the foundation is doing wonderful things. What we do, we make pictures, we make films, we write memories, and we go to all the children all over the world in the 3 languages. So this needs plenty money. We started to do that. So on every concert I go, I sell how you call it, auction off the sticks that my hands were playing the drums. Those are sticks that I'm playing. After I sell this, I'm going to use another one for next week. But today are the sticks that I play my drums yesterday, the whole time. So they are for sale to the highest bidder. If you're going to be signed by my name, going to put in the date today, and you're going to be able to enjoy and remember, have a memory of a Holocaust survivor who was almost 100 years old and signed those sticks. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we start?
We're going to do a live auction?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do
We're
it.
gonna give
I've
you-
never
we're
auctioneered
gonna give you
before.
$100 for those sticks.
Where are we starting again?
We're going to give you $100 for those sticks.
$100, $100. Do we have $100? It's kind of fun.
Anybody?
We got $100 back there. Can you raise your hand again? $100 and then
How about 150?
150. Is anybody 150 back there on the aisle over there?
How about 200?
$200. Do we have $200? I'm looking around. Do I see $200? I see a hand right there in the aisle.
I
The
got
lady right there.
$200, $250.
$200. Do we have $250? $250 in the back.
$250, $300.
$300. $300 here in the front row. Do we have $350 back there from the same woman in the back? Do we have $400?
$400 was signed by my signature.
$400 signed by Saul Dreier. Do we have $400? $400. Do we have $400? We have $450 right there in the middle. $450. That's very impressive. Oh, we got $500 there in the back. Do we hear $550? $550.
$500 once.
Going once.
$500 twice.
$500 going twice. And
And the third time. $500.
sold for $500 to the lady in the back. Congratulations.
After the show, don't go away for the sticks. I'm gonna sign anything you want on those sticks, all right? And make sure you got a check.
Well, that's fantastic. Are we ready to get back to some music?
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the celebration of life that is Saul Dreier. Once again, round of applause for Saul Dreier. With the winner of the auction, please come up. Yeah, come on up front. She's coming up here down the aisle.
A woman?
Yes.
I was in the middle. Maybe we can do something. All these things, after the concert, I'm gonna sign it.
Hey, everyone.
While Saul's taking his spot at the drum kit, I would like to introduce the wonderful band that's supporting him today. First of all, Saul brings a clarinetist with him, Jamie. Jamie, what's your last name? Jamie, what's your last name? Jamie Bronstein on clarinet. He's leading the band. He's the director, of course. And on bass guitar, a very close friend of mine, and also my teacher, Theodore Reyes, on bass guitar. Ted's actually a guitar player. He plays all over the place in Tucson when you're there in town. If you're going to see a band, he's probably playing. And we have on keyboards and saxophone. He hasn't broken out his saxophone yet, and he might do that in the next set. We have Amachuk Dabney. He's a two-time Grammy-nominated artist. Accompanies Carl and Nakai. He's a multi-genre instrumentalist and could conform to practically any musical style, as he's proven here. On violin, a special treat for y'all. We brought Heather Hardy to help us celebrate Saul's amazing story, and of course Saul Dreier leads it all on drums, and that's our band for tonight. That's how we put it together, and we thank you all very much for coming. My name is Nathan Frankenberg. I come from New York. I have a day school education. The kind of stuff that Saul was talking about was real important for us and for our family, and I couldn't be happier and more humbled to have a show like this. And I want to thank Rabbi and the Chabad of Sierra Vista for supporting this and for bringing this type of education programming to Sierra Vista. Yashikar.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saul, for such an incredible performance and for the energy and sharing your story. God willing, next week, on December 25th, we will be celebrating our 10th public menorah lighting at Veterans Park at 5 p.m. The event is free and open to all to join us. So thank you very much for coming, and we hope to see you soon. I would like to ask the students from St. David to come up and take a picture as well with Saul Dreier.
And I thank you, the Rabbi. I thank you all. I would like to see the lady so that I can sign for the sticks.
On your way out, there are calendars, a magazine.